Oh, goodness, you're here already. Well, I guess I'll have to tidy up my desk and create a project with what I have laying here already. Why don't you grab a cup of tea? I'm doing the same, and let's get started. Hi, everyone. My name is Mary Lou, and this is Create Junk Journals with Mary Lou. So I am working on the big sewing journal. She's big. She is 8.5 by 11, a little bit bigger than that, with a 2-inch spine. There's 120 pages front and back. It is a beast of a journal. It was very difficult to sew the signatures into it. It was complicated and it was so heavy to work with, but they're in, and I am in the process of decorating the journal. Stay tuned. That video is coming probably next week. It's just a process that I have to go through, and I was hoping that I would have it done today, but I most definitely do not. So today I am going to make another decoration for the journal, because that way at least I'm doing something towards getting it ready. And I am going to pull together what is already scattered around my desk. That is usually how I start my projects. So I am going to create fashion specimens out of playing cards. I don't have a real solid plan on what I'm going to do. But I'm going to let everything talk to me and just pick up the pieces, and I'm just going to have some fun creating things with everyday bits and pieces. Grab some playing cards. Why don't you craft with me? So the first thing I want to do is prep the playing cards. Right, I have this is all prepped and ready to go, or for the most part. I'm going to have to do a little bit more fussy cutting, but the idea is somewhat forming. These are images from 1940-ish, like 1947-ish, I should say. I know that because they are from a magazine article, or some are from a magazine article, some are magazine advertisements for McCall and Butterick and all those. But it was the visit of Princess Elizabeth at the time to Canada, which was 1947. So that kind of dates my my images in a pretty neat way. So I'm just making a little bit of space here so that I can start prepping my playing cards. So playing cards, when you start with them, are super slippery. So to start with, I'm going to scuff them up a little bit. And I want to scuff up the backs too, because I'm going to glue them and sew them together. So I have a little bit of a sanding disc, and I'm just going over them just to scuff them up so they'll take the glue a little bit easier. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you hit that button, because I am always doing something that is, I believe, a little different from what other people are doing. I am a little bit more eclectic. I love it. It gives me joy, and yeah, it is just fun to do. And isn't that why we go into junk journaling? Is to have some fun, to create some pretty things, and learned something. I have learned so much about history, and I've always enjoyed history a lot. So that's not anything new. Sorry, I'm just wiping them on my pants so that I take the dust off of them. Missy Marvin over here. But at least the dust is gone, and I have to get the dust off my hands too. All right, so they've been scuffed up. And what I am going to do next is I'm going to take some of the pattern tissue, and I'm going to attach that to the tops of the cards. It is easier to do that before I cut them down than after. I am going to use my tacky glue to attach it so that it sits a little bit better. And I think the tissue paper is going to give it a really neat look. I am going thin layer of glue all over the card. I want the tissue paper to be pretty much saturated in glue. I have lots of pieces of pattern paper because there's nothing else I can do with it. I am not allowed to scan it. I'm not allowed to reproduce it. So, but I can use it. So that's what I'm doing. I don't usually care if there is a lot of wrinkles in the tissue paper when I'm attaching it. I think it kind of gives a fun element to it. This time I'm kind of flattening it out a little bit. Put it aside to dry, and I'll speed this process up, but I will show you how I glue every single card with the tissue paper. Okay, they're pretty much dry. There's one that's still a little bit dry. By the time I get to it, it'll be completely dry. So I am going to put them together really tightly, and I'm going to grab my stapler because I'm going to cut around them anyway. If I can find my stapler. I found it. It helps when you put it back where it belongs, and then you don't have to look for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to staple them right there. I'm going to cut this piece out anyway, but now they are staying perfectly together while I am cutting through them. So I have this fancy little thing. This is from Creative Memories, and I absolutely love these templates because it just saves me so much time. So if I lay this down, I'm centered right there, then I can put this centered as well. And it comes with these fancy little things. And all you do is you just slide that here. I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. Okay. And then you just cut around it. And I'm just going to keep going until I know that I am all the way through both cards. Right. Not quite. There it is. So yes, now they are apart, but the oval is in exactly the same place. So I'll just staple all of them together so I can repeat the process. So I'll save these. These will come in handy at some point. Famous last words, right? But they might make really cute decorations, so that's why I am saving them. I struggled a little bit with one of them because it came apart. So it's not totally even, but that's okay. So with that one, I'm just going to go straight into that one. I am going to take a piece of lace from the dress that I had purchased for like $3, and I have I would never wear it. It was an ugly dress, but it's beautiful lace that was on it. Let's take a full rose piece right there. I just need to cut around this a little bit. Because it needs to be able to fit into my frame here. That is what I need. So I'm going to grab my 3-in-1 glue. And I'm going around and making sure that it's very well attached to this piece. probably should have inked around it. Let me just quickly do that. I can still do that while this is not dry. There we go. So I'm just laying this in here, pulling it so that it is nice and tight. I want it to be stretched. In here, I don't want it to be saggy or loose or anything. So I'm stretching it from the outsides so that it is nicely dense and semi-strong. That's my alarm for my laundry. Let me put this on here and then I'll go change my laundry around and we'll carry on. So I'll ink around the inside here as well. And I'm using Vintage Photo Distress ink. I do not use oxides because I just like the softness that the Distress inks give me. Oh, how pretty is that? Okay, put some glue on the other side. So I'm putting lots of glue on here now because I need to have both cards attached to each other. I don't care if it comes seeping out on the outside. I do care if it comes seeping out on the inside, of course, because then it's seeping out all over the lace and I don't want that. But I do want it, I do want the outsides fully covered. And you can't see that I didn't cut it completely even anymore. It's gone. Okay. Really want this well attached. I want it to be like a one card. So I'm just pushing. There we go. All right, that can dry. I am just going to change my laundry around for a second. I want to do each window different. So I have a piece of acetate here and I have printed lace on here and you can't see it. So I'm just going to cut a piece out and hopefully you can see it once it is finished. So it's pink lace. And, let me find a piece of white paper. I have this little scrap here. You can see it now. There's a bit of lace behind there. So same idea. I'm just going to layer this. I want to make sure that I am getting a piece where there's actually good lace. I can see it. It's very faint. It's very pale pink lace. But it will look really cute. Okay, add some glue again, staying far away from the center this time, because if it does something weird to the ink, I don't want it to disturb that. Trying to see which one is the right side. because it might dissolve the ink a little bit. You can see, can you see the lace now? It looks pretty cute. So I'm going to take my second card and put glue everywhere again. It didn't do anything funky to the lace, so I think I'm okay. So in this case, it does matter how they fit together, because you can see it. Okay. And then I want to use a piece of something different. I have this material. With that, how would that look if I were to put, oh, that would look okay. Let's try that. This is vintage cotton or linen. It is very old. It might actually be antique. Here we go. So I will remember right now that I need to ink around both of them, not just one. That's one. I love how this is starting to look. There. So I'm going to take my piece of fabric and I'm going to do the exact same thing. Take my 3-in-1 glue again. Putting it on there, and I'm doing the same thing that I did with the lace. I'm just going to pull it from both sides so that it goes in the right position and it is stretched inside the frame. Because for what I want to do with it, not having it stretched would not work. Here. I'll put glue all the way around these again. So I didn't totally have to make them completely even, but, you know, because I'm not going to decorate both sides. I'm only going to decorate one side. But it looks nicer when you can see the translucency through there. Let me zoom you out just a little. You're pretty close right now. So I hope that you saw everything. I'll have to go through and make sure. All right. So I want to decide which one is going to be my front. This, for sure. I think this one, for sure. And I think this one, for sure. There we go. So next, I have my little grungy stamp. And And I'm going to take ground espresso archival ink. I don't want this to fade. I don't want this to go away. I want it to be permanent. And if I'm going over it with something liquid after, I don't want it to dissolve. So I'm just putting some grungy on there. I'm just using up the ink that is on my stamp. There we go. Next, I'm going to ink all around them. And now I am going to use the distress ink. You know, sometimes you have a project in your hand and you can just see it come together and it just looks so much better than what you had imagined. And that's kind of where this is going. Okay, next, I want to take a little bit of this lace and I want to put it right along the edge like that. So I'm just going to take a little piece, a little bead of 3-in-1 glue. And attach that to here. I thought I was going to do some sewing around here as well, but I think I'm just going to use some threads to hang loose as a decoration. I think they are way too pretty to mess them up with my messy sewing. Have some snaps that I want to use on there. So I'm just going to cut a little hole. Oh, this one I had upside down, so that's okay. This one is going to have the lace on the other side. Because, yep. Put one there, and I'll put one right there. So I am putting these all in different spots. And I'm just putting the bottom through here and then snap the top on. There we go. These are not as vintage as anything else, so that's why I can use these. They have a barcode. If they don't have a barcode on them, they are definitely vintage, and I will not use them for a project like this. And if you watched my video on Sunday, you know that I have a bunch of real ones, real vintage ones. Come on. Oh, I may have to glue this one down. It will not go. It happens. There's a lot of layers here. And I actually punched through the lace. So I'm just putting a little glue, and that will hold it in place too. Just going to grab one of these and just hold it in place until this is dry, and then it's good to go. These, however, are done. They're attached. So these are the fussy cuts from the images that I'm going to use. And I'm trying to think if I want to use them like that. Or if I want to do that. I don't know if this is going to stick. I'm definitely trying everything I can to make it stick, and it is going to somehow. I'm going to get it to attach. Okay, put that one aside for now. So I figured out I'm going to use the colored ones only. I'll use the black and whites on something else, but right now this is where I am going to go. So I'm going to ink around my images or my fussy cuts. And aren't they fantastic? Like, aren't these just adorable? Would you use these in your journals? Let me know. Want to know? Oh, they're so cute. I love making things that just are beautiful as I am making them. Like, there's never really an ugly stage. It just goes from pretty to pretty to pretty to pretty. Okay. Well, that's the little grunge right there. That works better. Let's take some thread. I have blue, I have brown, and I have green. This is vintage thread as well. You can tell. This is very, very old. Spools of thread. And I'm just, oh, I want them stuck with them, with my girls. Okay. So I'm just going to lay that right there. And then put the girls on there. That gives some color. Labels. I have a whole bunch of little labels here. So if I put away what I have right here, then I can do some other things. And I don't need a lot. I just want a little bit of this, and then I'll bring that back in the other ones as well so that it all stays like a set. Just like that. Let's put some glue. Oh, not on the ground. Put some glue on here. Right there. I'm just putting it into the position that I want them. I like how that gives a little bit of shimmer to it as well. Yeah, that makes a huge difference. Now I have some little labels. And I've been busy creating my own little labels that I can fussy cut. So these are all from real tickets that I had in my that I have in my possession. And that way I can just play with this. Just looking to see what I can find. And I'm just trying to make them look old and used. Like old paper. So if I put this one, whoa. If I put this one this way, just like that, then I can put this one like that. And I keep the numbers somewhat. And I just need something right at the top, right here. I don't know what. I don't know what. That's the problem. Oh, I think I know. Let me just glue this down because I have made up my mind that that's definitely where I want all of this to go. And I'm using mostly my 3-in-1 glue for this project because otherwise it won't attach to anything because there's so much fabric and lace on here. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, that's so pretty. I don't know if it needs anything else. I'm going to continue on with the other ones, and then I'll finish up with these. I'm not going to cut the edges off of the feet and stuff. I like the overhang. I like that it is not even with the card. I will, however, cut the little label, the little ticket off there. But the ladies, I want to keep just like that. It's very pretty. That's one. Let's do something similar with this one. Similar yet different. And then they can just go right there. Fully. I'm going to take them off. Put them right on the edge. I think this needs a piece of this ticket. Yes. Ink around this. And I was crumpling it up and then inking the edges. And I want to uncrumple it. It looks like it has been through the wash. Okay, put some more 3-in-1 glue on there. There, and cut the rest off and use that somewhere else. Then I want some of the beige thread. There's still pieces. It's hard to see because it's like a lighter brown. Okay, I'll put it right there with them over top. Yeah. Okay, the thread is good right there. Oh, yeah. Pretty. So I have two very pretty ones. Now let's see if this snap decided that it needed to stay attached. Yeah, it's attached. you know what? I'm going to sew it together just to make sure that it's not going to come apart. Oh, it's not going to go through. Okay, so I right away have my blue thread that I want to use for behind the blue lady. So I'm just laying it out just like that. The blue lady can go right there. So I need some little pieces that can go on that side. That is green. That won't work for me. But she's got a brownish hat on. Let's do this. Let's use a piece of this. I can tuck it right under there. Yep. Ink it up. That, and then I'm going to put the rest of this ticket on here, just because it's there, may as well use it. And then what else do I have here? I have one of these. I have one of these. So I can use both. There's nothing stopping me from not using both. Make a little cluster right there. With the number 7 at the bottom, just like that. Okay. So she's gonna go right in there. Perfect. The 3-in-1 so that it will stick to the lace as well. Push her down just a little bit so that she's not floating in the air. Make sure that the thread is behind the lady and glued down. And I have 3 very pretty pictures here. I forgot some of this. How can I put this on here still? can put this just like that. And put her feet back down. And she's got that same little bit of ribbon that the other ones have as well. Just because I'm using different elements on all of them doesn't mean that it's not a set. But I do need to use some of the similar elements and colors so that it looks more like a set. And there's all three of them. So I did a little bit of stamping, and now I am about to sew the buttons on here. I have a kind of an old crystal button for this one. I have a pretty gold button for this one, and a black sparkly one with a bug on it for that one. I don't know, I thought they would be cute, so I am just going to hand sew them on. Oh, I'm missing the inside here. So this one will have to be glued on. Right there is where I want it. Threads off. And we have a little dangly button right there. I think it's kind of cute. I may put something else there though. If I take the pearl off of here, what would happen? Would the whole thing fall apart? Nope. Yeah, that's perfect. A little glue. And I'll just tuck the bow right around the button. Maybe not. Maybe a little bit more glue. It didn't want to stick. Okay, let's try that again. tuck the bow right around the button and turn it actually into a more pretty bow. Oh yeah, I like it. That's so cute. This one will be a little easier, hopefully. Or do I just want to punch a hole? And let's do that. There. Because I think this will fit. I can make this somehow fit through there. Just a little bigger. Just about. There, and it fits right in there. And I don't have to sew. I can just grab my glue gun because I need it anyway for that one. So I'll cut a little hole in here as well so that the button can fit right in there. Kind of just falls right in so that it sits a little flatter. Made it just a little bigger. There, now it'll sit just about flush with the card. Okay, my glue gun will need to heat up. So in the meantime, I will go and get some laundry finished. I am calling them done. I think they're very, very pretty. So I'll post pictures at the end, as I try to do when I make little things like this, so that you can see all the little details and all the little things that are on here. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you can see where this where these pretty ladies are going to go. And you know, if you haven't seen any of my sewing journal videos yet, I am creating a playlist. This video will be part of it, so you'll have to check it out. It is pretty exciting. It's a big journal, and there is so many pretty bits and pieces that are in it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you didn't, well, then leave me a comment and let me know how I can improve. I would like to know. I am trying to do better and learn and try different things. And I hope you are sticking with me for that. Have a wonderful Wednesday and see you on Saturday.